All right, welcome back to the Artist Connection podcast. This is Matt Kasar here with today's very special guest, Michael Wechsler. Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, Matt. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. Your resume is extensive, but what we're here to talk about today, you're the writer, the director, and the producer of your brand new movie, Altered Minds.
Yes, Altered Minds.
God, I love it.
Much. Thank you.
You know, I'm a fan of the thriller kind of movie, and what I appreciate now as I watch more and more of these, especially that are, more independent kind of things, the amount of work that must go into crafting a story like this with characters that are so strong and each have their own backstories, but yet come together. And for you as the writer and director to bring all those personalities together and keep the story flowing must be a huge undertaking.
Well, yeah, making movies is not for the weary. And not for the easily intimidated.
Yeah.
It's just in general. The Golden Globes were on last night, and I really the statement by Inarritu after he won, I think it was Best Director for The Revenant. He said, "Film is, pain is temporary, film is forever."
Right.
And a quote that I've heard many times before that I always think of when I'm about to get to work on a movie, whether it's the writing or the directing, whatever part of it is. There's no easy part to it. No matter whether you're making a space movie or you're making a film that's set in a room, for the majority of the movie.
Right.
And in terms of Altered Minds, I think the challenge for me and I think for everybody involved was keeping the film from getting too claustrophobic, even though 80% of it takes place in one house, one evening, and it's between six family members.
Right.
So it's essentially an ensemble piece. And we really tried hard in the planning of this film with regards to the cinematography and regards to my discussions with the actors to keep it from feeling too stagey and too play, even though, again, it had those trappings. So I was very much trying to be aware as a storyteller, as a director, when we began making this, that could easily become that, right? Because you have monologues, you have a lot of dialogue, and you have a few rooms in this house. So we wanted to make sure that there was sort of an evolution in the storytelling through the cinematography. So things would change from your perception in the beginning, then the middle, and the end. Keep things dynamic inside that house, right? And same thing with the performances, and same thing with the actors and characters they were playing. It was very important. This movie is essentially a mystery as to what has happened or may not have happened in this house. A very unusual family, and I say unusual, is it's mostly traumatized, used to be children, they're now adults,
right.
traumatized orphans who were adopted by this Nobel Prize-winning laureate, well-respected psychiatrist, formerly working for the United States government, played by Judd Hirsch, of course, and they come together to celebrate his last birthday because he is really he's dying of cancer, and this is probably going to be the last time the family all gets together. And one of the kids, who is known to be quite off kilter and quite imaginative, he's a horror novelist. He comes in with these accusations that the father had tortured the kids and used them as Manchurian candidates in a government-funded, classified, of course, mind control project, and that they in fact weren't adopted by Judd Hirsch because he loved them, but were adopted because they were the perfect kind of candidates for this type of program. And of course, the beginning of the story, you hear this, and the audience and the family members all think that this guy is off his rocker, and he is suffering from some kind of tremendous delusionary state. Is delusionary a word?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
It sounds good.
I'll Wikipedia later.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anyway, so it was very important for me as director to keep the suspense going, so that people were not, they didn't have the answer. Maybe they thought they had the answer at the beginning, but then as these accusations start to reveal themselves, certain things happen in the house to the family members. Certain other siblings have recall of some sort, or they think it's maybe repressed memories. There's things that are starting to bubble to the surface that call into question this son's accusations against the father, and then eventually we start we're not really sure, as neither of the family members, who's telling the truth. And so it was really important to use that sort of transformation that goes on in all the characters, from beginning to middle to end, of how they're perceiving their father and what they perceive to be the truth. It was really important to represent that differently with the camera, with the editing. So I don't know if that necessarily answers your question in terms of what you were asking about the characters and how to keep it going. But I really wanted to make sure that from a visual standpoint, from an editing and pacing standpoint, that each of those periods of the movie where we're shifting the perception of the audience and of the characters, that we're actually also shifting a little bit, shifting the cinematography and kind of keeping things really alive and dynamic. So,
well, the pacing was just right. I mean, well done across the board and all the things that you mentioned, because as a viewer, it does keep you guessing, and who is the hero, who is the villain. How, if it's one or the other, how are you going to convince the others, kind of thing.
Right.
I mean, that's not an easy task, especially with such strong individuals and the family dynamic that I think we all share across the board. I mean, maybe not as dramatic as the story here, but you do have people in your family that have these different kind of roles sometimes. And if you are the black sheep and you do try to say, hey, something's not right here, it's like, oh yeah, okay, Uncle Dave, something's not right here. Wink, wink. But wait a minute, maybe he's right.
Right, exactly.
But maybe he's not. Who knows? And as these different characters come out and they develop, how they bring their own, like we all do, bring their own baggage into this situation. Am I the guilty one? Am I the one that feels bad over something, and that's why I'm acting out? Or do I truly believe it's so many layers to it, and like I said, I loved it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's I'm glad you actually said that. It kind of reminded you, or it recalls like a certain family dynamic. Yes, and hopefully. For the viewers, no one has any family remotely.
Oh yeah, I was going to say
experiencing any kind of dramatic, dramatic kind of degree of. I'm sure there are. I mean, there's other things that get swept under the rug. I think what's really what I was trying to zero in on, at least with this family, and thought it made it a unique and compelling story, is ultimately this is about secrets that may or may not exist inside or behind the closed doors of what ostensibly on the outside seems like a very normal, healthy, functioning family. And I think that is, to me, that's a real fascinating thing to sort of explore as a filmmaker and to subvert, because I do believe that there are, I don't think that there is any family without its secrets, but I think most secrets are benign, right? I think most secrets are not of this sort of stage 4, the kind that would, when combusted, like implode the entire family structure. Like this essentially may happen in the course of the film, and I think that's something that, if people see the movie and instead of saying to me, well, I had a family that is exactly like this, they would talk to me about the secrets that were being repressed in their homes, or the secrets that were in some form of denial, and they were usually more kind of like, I don't want to say, they were more familiar things. They were more like alcoholism, or things that you kind of you're more familiar with, as things that you don't go, oh my God. Like here, you have the potential for a secret that is a lot more. It's a lot more